The real question was, I thought you were a serious actor. Why are you doing
No,
this shit?
no,
right.
no.
Yes. No.
That's what she really did.
No. You
No.
got it all. You got it all wrong. No.
Mr. Fury, this all seems like big time. You know, huge superhero kind of stuff. And, I mean, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
This is the first movie I feel like grief is so foundational to Peter Parker as a character, but this is the first time we're really seeing it on screen. And so, how did that impact how you played him? And was it weird not having Robert Downey Jr. on set?
It was a little strange not having Robert on set because this is the first time I've played Spider-Man without him.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it was a little scary. And that's why it's quite nice to have Jake, because Jake filled his shoes really nicely. But it was interesting because we didn't want the death of Iron Man to be overwhelming, and we didn't want it to kind of take over the theme of the movie. We kind of wanted to allow audiences to forget about it, and then we continue to remind them through the film. And Peter Parker, I think, deals with grief in a way where he keeps distracting himself. You know, he's constantly trying to forget about what's been going on, and obviously that's not the best way to deal with stuff like that, and it all kind of comes to a head with that scene with him and Happy, which I think is, I would say, some of my best work, which I'm really happy about.
That reminds me when I first fell in love. I had just finished my fruit cobbler, right?
So nice to finally meet you, Spider-Man.
So you have kind of a new management style in this movie. It feels like you're kind of dealing with the Scooby Gang a little bit.
Well, you know, that's them. You know, new set of rules. It's like learning curve for Nick Fury. People avoiding his calls. It's like, wait a minute. So figure out a way to corral them, herd some cats into a room, get them there, and then I can talk to him and assess him for myself. I mean, Tony Stark told me one thing, but I'm looking at this kid seeing something else.
You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
What changed for Ned and for MJ?
More lines.
Yeah, more screen time and meaning more to myself personally.
I would say just like I think uncovering a little bit of who this character, this new innovation of this character is. I think a lot of people assumed that she was a certain kind of way, and I think that just kind of learning about her, defense mechanisms and natural responses to like just how she protects herself from things, and watching those kind of barriers and walls that she builds just kind of be broken down by Peter.
I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Through the trailers, we know that MJ's figured it out.
FOS.
Yeah, FOS. And how did that shift kind of your thinking of the character and the dynamics? Because, you know, some people are maybe, they liked the exclusivity of it. So how did that work?
You can just say that I'm jealous. It's fine. You can just say Ned is a jealous person. I get it. Like, is that how it seemed? Because I feel bad now. Because I definitely want us to team up all the time. So.
No, it's nice, and I think that Peter now more than ever needs as much support as he can get. So
yeah.
It's nice that they're there for him, you know.
You are having an amazing time in this movie. I feel like you just looked like you were having a good time.
Yeah.
Why the MCU and why now? Like, is it something you've always wanted to be a part of, or was it like right role, right time?
I always like sort of a sideways angle, you know, like an obtuse kind of entrance, you know, and I think that this provided that opportunity. You know, for me it was like, I do love the world, I love the movies, I love all the characters in them, they move me, which, you know, and I'm into it. And so when they asked me about this one, I thought it was such an interesting character to play, and I was in. It was that easy.
Yeah, Mysterio is, you know.
Yeah.
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 But the real question was, I thought you were a serious actor. Why are you doing
No,
this shit?
Oh, right. Yes. No.
That's what she really did.
No. You got it all wrong. No. The answer
You
to that
know
is
they don't give awards for these kind of movies.
oh, right. Yeah. Right. No. It's not my concern. Never. I don't care.
All right.
What?
You,
What?
veteran, been in probably the most out of anyone.
Same question. She's asking the same
Same
question.
question. No. Did you have any advice for the newcomer?
Of course not. People don't ask me for advice when they show up. Plus, he didn't have time. He showed up. We went right to it. You know, it's kind of like
Didn't have time.
they were screwing him into that suit.
You know, Sam, I finished my take and he was like, "You're really gonna do it?" Well, I guess we're done. So, well, do it that way.
You want another one?
Yeah.
We don't have time for it. So we just keep on rolling.
That sounds fun.
You don't have to do that. I mean, they hired him for a reason. Very smart actor. Kind of knows what's happening, and you know he was thrown right in when me and Kobe are standing there when he shows up. You know, this first scene is like, and they shot his side before they shot our side.
Man, that was pretty intimidating. I mean, that was like the way it is. I mean, I enter in the movie the first time you see me in the movie, the first scene I shot in the movie. Yeah. I literally landed on Earth, and that was it. And it was done, and I was in front of him, and he was
there
like,
we were.
Yep.
Who you, buddy?
Well, you killed it, and
thank
you're
you.
always amazing.
We just had fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. Like this movie was so enjoyable because it just looked like so much fun.
It's
and
the dopest playground in the world.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you get to do. This is Mr. Beck.
But you handled yourself well out there today. Saw what you did with the tower.
Thanks.
So the multiverse, or
Yes.
the multiverse, whichever. I say multiverse apparently.
Which I'm really stressed about because in the film I say multiverse.
Yeah.
But I think that's
But
what's
would you
correct.
say multiverse? Oh, well, that's good to know.
I think
I thought I just got it.
multi is like data kind of thing. It's like
Multiply.
Data,
sometimes
data. Oh,
you
okay,
say-
okay, cool.
Okay.
That actually makes me feel a lot better because I thought that was something I'd missed.
No, I think people say it differently.
Can you say multi-talented, but you just say multi-talented? You know?
True.
Right. Okay, good to know.
Sorry. Anyways.
Anyway,
So-
excuse that.
If you could pick something out of the multiverse to show up in the MCU, what would it be?
Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, well, we all pretty same collective
Yeah.
answer.
No,
Like,
that's a good answer. That
two
was my answer,
Spider-Mans, that'd
yeah.
be crazy.
Like that's all I wanted.
"Hey,
Okay.
I'd like a younger me because I got a few things I want to do.
I'd like a younger you.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
younger me. Yeah.
I mean, you know, being a newbie here, I would say I would choose Mysterio because that's where he shows up, and he's new. So, yeah.
A
Sorry
young-
to be such a narcissist.
A younger me with Jeff Bezos' money. Yeah.
You can't ask for all.
I could do.
It's
I
like
could
100
do,
bullets.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Why not?
That's the point of having a multiverse.
But the multiverse, like you won't have necessarily all control over it. You just show up, right? You say you control it.
I want
right?
control.
Sure, why
Oh,
not?
okay, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had control in, you know, in those old, well, that was DC, but, you know, in those old Superman things when they had the multiverse and, you know, that Bizarro was going back and forth. And, you know about that? Oh, my bad.
If you had to pick one piece of advice that Tony Stark gave you as Peter Parker, like that was the best advice, what would it be, and how did it feed into kind of the crisis of responsibility that Peter's going through in this movie?
What a big question. One piece of advice that Tony Stark gave to Peter.
Don't do what I do. What is it? Don't do what I would do, and don't do
What I wouldn't do, there's a little grey area, and that's where you operate. I honestly don't know how to answer that question. Sorry. We're on
sorry.
our 50th interview, and my brain's a bit frazzled.
I'm so
sorry.
sorry. I was like, what can I ask that they haven't been asked all day?
I haven't been asked that
Don't do anything I
question.
wouldn't do.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, but don't do anything I
anything I
would
would
do.
do. It's
There's
great.
no grey area in there,
Yeah,
and that's where you operate.
I think that's a good one.
That's
That's kind of what he's trying to balance in this movie, right?
yeah. The first one
Figure
is
out
like
what would Iron Man?
He's just finding the gray.
the first one is like he's doing what Iron Man wouldn't do, and in this one he's doing what Iron Man would do. And at the end of the film, he finds his little grey area.
He finds the
That's
gray.
where
That's an
The
interview.
gray.
Boom.
You're welcome.
Gray.
Thank you
for
so
a
much.
new
Gray.
press
The
soundbite.
color
I
gray.
love it.
The color gray.